Greetings and welcome to Nerd College. We live in an age in which there's more media than any single person could view in a lifetime. With so much out there, it can be intimidating to start jumping into properties at random trying to discover your next obsession. Here at the Nerd College, our goal is to provide you with introductions to some of our favorite films, shows, and anime so that you can decide for yourself if you'd like to dive in further. And the best part is, we don't spoil the endings. So enroll with us, sit in on a few classes, and we'll have you earning your nerd diploma in no time. Our subject today is Inception, one of our favorite films and one that has a bit of a reputation for being difficult to understand. The film shines on rewatches, as its high-concept premise requires a hefty amount of exposition that can be difficult to absorb completely on a first viewing. However, we'll be providing you with a solid framework from which for you to embark on your Inception adventure. Written and directed by acclaimed filmmaker Christopher Nolan, Inception was released in the summer of 2010 and was the fourth highest-grossing movie of that year. It stands out as one of the most visually impressive films of all time and stands among the greats of high-concept action sci-fi, alongside films like The Matrix and Blade Runner 2049. Underneath the mind-blowing concept and visual flair, though, Inception functions very much like a classic heist movie and uses many familiar tropes of that genre to try to keep the viewer as grounded as possible. Inception asks the question, what if a team made up of highly skilled individuals came together and broke into someone's dream, rather than into someone's bank or casino? Complete with explosive visuals and heart-pounding sequences, the film can be enjoyed as an action thriller even without delving deeper into its world building. But at the same time, it's filled to the brim with lines of dialogue and production details that reward attentive viewers. Several other channels have already discussed how this film can be viewed as a metaphor for filmmaking itself, with each of the characters representing a major aspect of the filmmaking process. The film begins with our protagonist, Cobb, washing up on a beach. Bleary-eyed, he experiences visions of the children that we will later learn serve as his character's driving motivation. He is picked up by armed guards and brought before an old man to have a cryptic conversation. Before the viewer can understand more, the film takes us back in time to a scene in which Cobb and his partner, Arthur, are pitching their services to a powerful man named Saito. They claim to be able to train him to protect himself from others who might want to sneak into his dreams and extract valuable information. For a moment, a first-time viewer might believe that Cobb and Arthur might simply be clever con artists with a unique new scam, but the film quickly shows us that there is much more going on than meets the eye. The room begins to shake, and we are shown that the three characters that we've been introduced to are in fact asleep, and they are together in a room in a completely different location. They are being looked after by a fourth man as a riot takes place outside the window. Back in what we now know as some kind of dream, Cobb and Arthur seem to be surprised to run across the striking visage of Maul, a mysterious woman from Cobb's past. At first, we're left to assume that she's perhaps another extractor, entering the dream via her own means. But as the film continues and the rules of this world are established, we learn that this is not only incorrect, but that she represents very much more. Very early in the film, we learn that Cobb is unorthodox, abrasive, and perhaps mentally unstable. But despite all of that, he is extremely skilled. Throughout a slick action sequence, he displays his ability to infiltrate a secure location, take out several armed guards, and break into a safe to obtain the documents that were his target. Though the team is nearly stopped by Maul, Cobb reads the information with seconds to spare as the dream comes crashing down around him. Upon exiting the dream, Saito reveals to Cobb and Arthur that they have failed his audition, as he believes their deception was obvious. He changes his mind, however, when he realizes that he was not pulled out of the dream into the waking world, but into another, completely separate dream. They are all, in fact, still asleep and aboard a moving train. This act of high-level dream extraction is what convinces Saito to hire them for the job that will serve as the main plot of this film. Like so many other great works of fiction, the opening sequences of Inception act as a microcosm for the rest of the work and expertly set the tone for what we can expect going forward. Barely 10 minutes in, and the film has established four of our main characters, the heart-thumping orchestral score by Hans Zimmer, a taste of the breathtaking visuals, and huge new concepts like shared dreaming. From here, we enter into the second act of the film in which Cobb assembles the team for the mission. He first visits his father-in-law, Miles, who is a professor of architecture and the person who originally brought Cobb into the world of shared dreaming. Miles introduces Cobb to Ariadne, his most promising student, who joins up with Cobb's crew as their team's architect, the person who designs the dream environments they will all be inhabiting. The name Ariadne comes from Greek mythology, in which she's known for helping Theseus escape the labyrinth of the Minotaur, so it's a fitting name for the character who will be designing mazes for the group. Next, Cobb jet sets to Mombasa to enlist the services of Eames, another skilled extractor and one who specializes in forging signatures and impersonating other people. Eames leads Cobb to the final member of their team, Yusuf, who is a chemist and provides the team with potent sedatives capable of inducing extremely deep and stable sleep. And that's our setup for the most part. Cobb and his dream team need to come up with the perfect plan to sedate their target, enter his dreams, and leave having implanted the idea of dissolving a corporate empire. Along the way, expect a compelling mystery to unfold regarding the nature of Cobb's relationship to Mal, his broken psyche, and the reason for his estrangement from his children. We'd normally end the video right here, but I can't leave you without giving you a detailed breakdown of perhaps the most confusing component of this film. How does shared dreaming actually work? In the reality of the film, we are told that shared dreaming was first developed by the government as a way to train soldiers, but now seems to be used by individuals worldwide. We see it being used in Europe as well as in Mombasa, and we are shown that it's at least commonplace enough that some rich and powerful individuals pay for lessons to defend themselves against potential extraction. A major plot point of the movie revolves around the fact that time slows down dramatically within dreams, and the time dilution effect is multiplied when entering deeper levels. Dreamers are connected via a device that is never directly addressed in the film, although according to supplemental material we know that it dispenses a fictional drug called somnocin, which makes shared dreaming possible. All the linked dreamers share the subconscious of one individual, and with practice are able to control the dreams to godlike degrees. However, the dreamer's subconscious populates the environment with projections, which become more aware of the dreamers based on how much disruption they cause. They will eventually become violent as they become more aware of the intruders, and when a dreamer is killed in the dream, they normally wake up immediately. In order to wake up from a dream without having to die, our protagonists use a concept they call a kick, as illustrated here by Eames. As Cobb explains, the sensation of falling is what snaps the person out of the dream. Extraction is usually achieved by speaking with the target's subconscious, or by creating something secure like a safe or bank vault, which the target's mind automatically fills with information it's trying to protect. And that's the end of today's lecture. By watching the video to the end, you've earned full points for today. But if you're itching for extra credit, please make sure to hit the like button below. Most importantly, we'd like to know what other properties you'd like to see covered by our channel, so comment below if there's a property you'd like to see in our course catalog. Now, off to your next class.